Ugh. I don't know how to balance a competitive game, especially one like Pokemon. That must just take so much time. And with a game as fleshed out and mechanically diverse as competitive Pokemon, I could see why things would fall flat when it came to anything else. That being said, the story in Sword and Shield sucks. It has a reason to suck, but it sucks nonetheless. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about something that the story does right. So, let's talk about Bede. You don't hear a lot of people talking about this cotton candy fairy child. I hear a lot of people talking about how cute Marnie is, or how annoying Hop is, or how dumb Leon is, and they're all correct, but I hear no one talking about Bede. Which is sad, because Bede, in my opinion, has the best arc in the entire game. Bede grew up as an orphan and would often get into fights with other kids. He never knew how to make friends, an attitude that persists throughout the entire game. So this kid grew up not having anyone like him, always picking fights, always getting into trouble, until one day, one fateful day, when Chairman Rose saw something inside of him and gave him a Pokemon. From what we can infer through his interactions with Bede, giving him this Pokemon and later endorsing him was an act of charity for him. It was a nice thing he did without thinking. He doesn't even remember who Bede is at one point and has to be reminded. So Bede's entire goal from that point on is to prove to Chairman Rose that his faith in him isn't misplaced. He wants that validation. He doesn't really have anything else but this dream. Chairman Rose's assistant, Olena, actually takes advantage of this by telling him to collect wishing stars for her. She never stops holding the fact that the chairman endorsed him over his head, which drives him to do crazy shit like destroy the mural in Stow-on-Side, which actually ends up helping Sonia, but I digress. Rose actually ends up seeing this and telling him, "Stop ruining relics of history, you fucking psycho child." Bede replies with, "But I was just doing what you said!" "Nope. Bye." And then Chairman Rose pulls his sponsorship. This scene actually got to me. This sponsorship is all that he had. And he was so proud of it. So much so that every turn he's flaunting it, blatantly telling the player, "I'm better than you because I have this." He's one who ties his self-worth to his achievements in life rather than being a good person. He thinks that everybody is trying to take the one thing he has and he's devoted to keeping it. He doesn't even think twice about the things people tell him. The next part is entirely speculation, but when you battle him and beat him, he'll often, at the end of the battle, make some excuse as to why he lost. Like, "I wasn't using all of my power," or "I was going easy on you to give you a false sense of hope. Don't get cocky." Or my favorite,
not even trying, blindfold, it was lagging, controller's not plugged in, it's my little brother playing.
I get the impression that he doesn't do this to convince you, more so that he just does it to convince himself that he's more powerful than that battle proved. So near the end of the game, yes, we were on Gym 4, now we're at the end of the game, and they say Sword and Shield's pacing is terrible. While you're in the midst of your champion trial, or whatever it's called, Bede comes running in and interrupts the trial, saying, "You flexed on me way too long. Enough is enough. I'm putting it all on the line. My career, my dream, and if I lose, I will quit the gym challenge forever." The organizers of the event allow this. And of course, you sweep the floor with him because, as well as pacing issues, the story is extremely tilted in your favor. So this is the chance to quit. But before he can, the crowd actually cheers for him. They don't care that he lost, and they actually want to see more of him. He's earned the respect and adoration of his peers that he's told himself he's wanted for this whole time. Now he just has to earn the respect of himself. The lesson he learns here is twofold. Don't take pride in being the best, because I'm not the best. I'm merely good with a lot to learn. And hey, that's actually still worth being proud of. And 2, so I don't get manipulated again, I'm going to carve my own path from now on, taking the lessons I've learned from my journey and continuing to learn and grow. But also, I'm going to be the guy who steers my ship to shore, not anyone else. He even directly says that second one before you rebattle him in the postgame. That's some really strong stuff from a game as poorly written as Sword and Shield. As a creative, it can be really tough to humble yourself because you put so much effort into your work, and it's hard to acknowledge that even you at your best needs work sometimes, but you have to. It's something that you have to do if you ever want to grow and get to a place that you could actually be proud of. I can find it hard to take criticism at times, but I really do try to listen. Because I like what I do, and I want my work to be great. That actually ties quite heavily into the second lesson, because with the lessons he's learned, Bede can now begin to carve his own path to being the kind of gym leader he aspires to be. He's found something he truly wants to do more for himself than anyone else. He gets help and advice from Opal, sure, but only he can make the road to get there. And that road started with humbling himself. With it, he found fans, someone who he can actually rely on, and a new goal that he's honestly proud of. He takes his final defeat from you less as a sting and more as a means to try to get better. He cherishes what he has and keeps it close as he walks the road in front of him. Anyway, I think this video has gotten kind of long. A lot longer than I expected. I have more to say on Sword and Shield, but I'll leave it for another video. Maybe. Maybe a few more. I don't know. Pokemon recently announced its first ever DLC expansion pack, the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra. I planned to have this video out before any new announcements, but long story short, the holidays ended up getting in the way, so I'll leave you with this. I hope they continue to expand on the lessons Bede learned in the base game. He's finished his arc, but that led him directly into another one, and I'm curious to see what they do with his character after this, if they do anything at all. Here's hoping.